So I've been doing some work on the studio lately, and I wanted to share with you some cool lights that I found, so stick around. Alright guys, I've been doing some work on the studio lately, and that project began first with painting the walls. And that started from a trip to Walmart where I found a pre-mixed paint that I thought I was going to like. It was supposed to be a platinum, like a light gray color. Looked kind of cool, thought I'd like that image on the wall, but after getting it on the wall, I was a little taken back. It looked like it was kind of a baby blue color. And later that day I had some video meetings with people at work, and so I even asked my co-workers, what shade does this wall look like behind me? And they all said baby blue. So it wasn't me. I wasn't making it up, and the camera saw it that way as well. So I thought, shoot, I figured I'd sleep on it overnight and check it out the next morning and see how I felt about it. And the next morning I didn't feel any better about it at all. It was baby blue. I felt like I was recording in a nursery. I couldn't deal with that, so I went back down to Walmart and I picked up a can of cheap black paint. And I mixed that in with this about half and half. And the end result of the color was a dark battleship gray. And you know, if you look at it, it probably has a slight bluish hue to it, but in analyzing it with some color profile analyzers on the cell phone, I came to the RGB profile was actually a pretty neutral gray. If anything, it had probably one or two numbers higher on the green side, but that's just something to keep in mind. I'm actually happy with the color that it finally came out with, but now I have a custom shade of gray that I created myself, so hopefully I don't ever have to repaint or match it. But anyway, after that I decided I was going to try and up my lighting game, and I began to research some different projects, beginning with some DIY lighting projects on YouTube that they talk about. And so after that I looked at some box products that I could do, and I came to the conclusion that I could probably buy some of the products. By the time I went scrounging up the materials for some of the craft light projects that I saw, I could probably just buy some products for about the same price. So I wanted to share some of those lights with you. Now, the first light I wanted to share is this, and it is the LE Outdoor Floodlight, color-changing LED outdoor floodlight. Now, the intended purpose of these lights is actually to go outdoors. They are weatherized to resist the elements, and they're intended to go outdoors in order to decorate your house. They're also useful for lighting up pathways or perhaps water feature in the backyard or some detail about your house. That's what their intended purpose is. But I decided, you know what, I really like the size of these things. They're lightweight. They have a little bracket so you can mount them from a soffit or a truss or something to that effect. They look like a very useful light, and they're very small, very concealable, very lightweight. And so they are also plug-in power, so you don't have to worry about these things going dead in the middle of a video and then having to worry about recharging and things like that. So for two lights with two remote controls, $30. That's $15 a light. So that's pretty dang reasonable for what they do. And one thing that I wanted to point out, though, is that the particular set, now there's a bunch of manufacturers and a bunch of brands of these things, and some of them are lower power, but one thing that I wanted to point out about the set that I got is that they're 15 watts of LED power. Now in LED speak, that's like a translation of about 100 watt incandescent comparison. So that's a lot of power. That's way more power than I would ever need in my little studio here. And in fact, what you see on the walls now is those lights dimmed down to the lowest setting that I can get out of them. Because at full power at 15 watts, it just blows everything out. It's just too much. It's way too much. So if you're looking for lights like this, you can probably get away with a lower power. This light, which is a under cabinet puck light, the intended purpose is to use them under cabinet. And so you can see that if you pop the back off, it has two holes in it. You mount that under the cabinet. And these particular lights, these are the Brilliant Evolution brand. And these particular lights run off of 3 AA batteries. Now, if you think about a lot of the new mood lighting that's out there, the Philips Hue system and some of these other higher end systems, What is different about those is that they have a hub. There's a centralized hub, and all the lights connect wirelessly to the hub. And then you use your phone to connect Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to the hub and control all the lights in the house. This is just a standard set of under cabinet. It comes with 6 lights and 2 remotes for $30, and it doesn't take. There is no iPhone app for these particular models. There are some that you can get, some lower budget alternatives that you can get with an iPhone app, but these have no app. It's just the remote. What's in the remote is it. Now, this particular light, the battery life is actually pretty good. And if you need to turn them on, you can just turn them on that way. There's your white, red, green, blue, and then off. Now, the remote offers much more functionality than that. The remote actually allows you to set different modes, make them go into blinking or chase mode. And there's actually a nice mode where it just fades very gradually and very slowly throughout the colors that it has in here. And that's a very nice effect, very soothing. So that's what that is. And yeah, again, these you'll notice that I'm using these lights in my background as an accent to light up the guitar. That's what's in the wooden bowl back here and in the lantern back by the light switch. So these are very useful for the price, just to have that little accent. You could always drop it behind a plant to emphasize it, or just drop it behind something to add a little glow to it. So that's pretty cool. I was really happy with these lights. The next thing I wanted to show you was actually not so much like a custom light, but it's just this, the Oxy LED desk lamp. And this thing is very lightweight, very flexible. It has a clip on it. What is so useful about this is that you can use it anywhere. These actually work. I used several of these out in the garage, and in fact I used this to repair my washing machine the other night. I was able to clamp it under the cabinet and point the light right where I needed it. And when I say you can use them anywhere, you can literally use them anywhere, because this light is actually USB powered. A lot of things are starting to go USB power. And this particular light has USB port, and for the, if you have even like a 20,000 milliamp hour battery pack or charging pack for your phone, you can run this off of it, and that way you can take it camping with you. You can use it in the trailer. It has 2 power output settings. You got your low and high. Also, it has not just in the daylight color, but you can do incandescent color. So this little desk lamp is bicolor. You can use it however you want if you need to match some other light. The incandescent color, if I had to guess, these are not CRI rated lights, so you're not going to be very accurate in your, in the description of the lights. But I would say it's probably a 2400 to 2700 in the range of the Kelvin scale for color temperature, and you can do both lights at once. But the daylight color, these I actually used to use as my video light, my key light, when I was recording videos. I actually used to use these for that. And right now I'm using a different one. I'm using one of my actual video lights, but the daylight temperature on these is actually pretty close to my actual video lights. So this is another great light. 18 bucks. Couple of, oftentimes you can find a coupon on Amazon to get it even cheaper and save some more money. Now, bonus tip is actually for this, and this is from Home Depot, and it costs $30. Now, these are very useful, and the intended purpose of these power strips is to put behind your monitor, behind an entertainment center, behind a TV, but you mount it to the wall. And that's the intended purpose for it, so that you have easy access to all your plugs. Now, what's different about this power strip is, one, it adds two USB ports that you can use to charge things, or even power, some of your streaming sticks, antennas, that kind of stuff is actually going USB powered now. So it's very handy to have ports. In my mind, I prefer USB ports in any power outlet because they're just becoming that widely used. What else is useful about these is that you have 2 LED panels built in. And what you use those panels for, like I mentioned, you mount these behind monitors or TVs. you have light then. You don't have to, if you need to track down a cable, if you need to do something, you don't have to go, scrounge up a flashlight or something else. You can just flip those LED lights on, and you can angle the panels too, so you can place the light where you need it. But it's very useful. The other thing is that the LED panels actually do put out a really nice glow behind your monitor, so you can use it as that ambient effect, and it does add, if you're trying to get some cool effects for inexpensive, this is a dual purpose device, these power strips, it's very useful because it adds dual purpose, and it also gives you that lighting effect. So I'm showing you here my control center where I record and edit all my videos. You can see the glow that comes out from behind my monitor. Ignore the wire mess back there. I'm in process of cleaning that up, but I know my wires are a mess. But that's kind of on the con side. When you illuminate the back of your monitor, you're going to see those wires, and you're going to see the dust, and that kind of stuff. So it takes a little bit more maintenance on your part if you intend to use that as a lighting effect. But anyway, guys, if you have any lighting effects, let me know about them. If you have affordable lighting that you use, things that you've been happy with, I'd be really interested in knowing about that. Starting a discussion about it, but I'm always interested in creative ways. It doesn't have to be for video, but even for photography, different creative lighting effects that you found affordable ways of doing that. Let me know. Let's start a discussion. Hey, like and subscribe. There's going to be more content coming out, and I'm trying to be fairly regular about my releasing of the different content. I'm going to be getting back into doing some more networking and technology videos coming up. But anyway, hit the button, and I'll talk to you later.